Canned chicken can be a controversial subject, and there's really only one question. Do you love it or hate it? Let's talk about just what it is, and it turns out that some facts, including where some of these chickens come from, just might change your mind. One major downside of eating chicken from a can is the likelihood that the animals were raised in inhumane conditions. Because canned meat requires more processing than fresh meat, the animals are often raised in factories where chickens are crowded and abused. Chef and nutritionist Serena Poon explained to Eat This, Not That, much industrial chicken is raised in terrible conditions, and many have infections and are treated with antibiotics. This maltreatment isn't just a moral consideration when eating canned meat, it's also a good indication that the meat isn't very good for you. Poon adds, antibiotic use in meat production is specifically connected to human health concerns, such as antibiotic resistance and child development issues. In addition, industrialized meat lacks some of the nutrition you'll find in fresh chicken. Animals that are fed grains rather than fibrous plants, as most are on factory farms, don't provide you with vitamin E, beta-carotene, and omega-3 fatty acids as much as fresh chicken does. Canned chicken isn't known for having the same kind of flavor as, say, a deliciously fresh piece of fried chicken, without the crispy skin, savory juices, and combination of dark and white meat. Chicken dinner just isn't the same. Still, if you're looking for a non-perishable source of protein or a quick and easy solution to a last-minute meal, you could do worse than a can of chicken. Particularly, Kirkland Signature Premium Chunk Chicken Breast. That's often lauded as chicken that's tender and moist and, as reviewers claim, your best option for a chicken sandwich or salad. On the other hand, if you come across Hormel chicken breast in the canned goods aisle, it's probably best to leave it there. The low amount of sodium in this can was meant to be a selling point, but the flavorless, dry meat tastes like punishment. Before the chicken is canned, it gets fully cooked, so it's ready to eat as soon as you open the can. All canned chicken has to be cooked to a certain temperature, usually 165 degrees Fahrenheit, to make sure any harmful pathogens are killed. When the chicken is canned, it creates a barrier that protects against bacteria and removes the oxygen on which bacteria feeds. So, canning chicken essentially freezes the meat in time at the perfect point, just before it's ready to be eaten, but before it spoils. The result is chicken that stays fresh and tasty for years. Yep, years. Just waiting for your next craving. Just make sure you're ready to eat it when you open the can. Whatever is inside will only stay fresh for a few days once the seal has been broken. Regular cooked chicken will last in your fridge for about 3 to 4 days, and if you don't have time for frequent shopping trips, that can be a pain. If you want to keep chicken on hand for longer, canned chicken is the way to go. As long as it stays sealed, canned chicken will last up to 3 to 5 years on your shelf.
I have the best stocked survival shelter in northeastern Pennsylvania. But everything has a shelf life, so I must eat and then replace everything that's about to expire.
It's also worth noting that even though the can might have an expiration date printed on it, that date usually indicates when the chicken surpasses its peak quality. After that date, the chicken is likely still safe to eat, it just might be a little less tasty.
It's nice not to have to plan my meals.
Of course, if you notice a foul smell coming from your chicken when you open the can, you'll want to throw it out regardless of the printed expiration date. Similarly, moldy or discolored chicken should not be eaten. Another good indication that canned food is unsafe is if the can is leaking, rusted, or dented. In these cases, it's best to be on the safe side and buy a new can, rather than risk food poisoning. While canned chicken can be both accessible and delicious, it's not something you want to eat every day. That's because excessive amounts of salt are added to most canned foods, including chicken. The Center for Science in the Public Interest explains that in order to ensure canned foods are bacteria-free, the food is processed in such a way that it is often stripped of its flavor. Salt is a cheap way to make up for that loss, and although extra sodium may make your food tastier, it doesn't do much for your health. Consuming too much salt can cause high blood pressure and, in more serious cases, heart attack or stroke. Generally, the amount of sodium in a single can of chicken can range from 500 to 1,000 milligrams. For context, the daily recommended sodium intake is less than 2,300 milligrams, and a similar amount of fresh chicken contains fewer than 80 milligrams of sodium. Sometimes canned chicken can be the perfect replacement for the fresh stuff. Convenient, non-perishable, and ready as fast as you can open a can. It can save the day in some situations. Looking for a quick and easy pizza topping? Look no further, but be careful. Canned chicken isn't always the best alternative to use in all recipes. Some of the fresh chicken taste is lost in the canning process, and the result is a salty but otherwise flavorless chicken that can ruin a dish with subtle flavors. Also, when it's incorporated into a recipe that requires additional cooking, canned chicken often leaks out much of the liquid it is soaked in, making for a watery mess. Cooking a fresh chicken can be simple, and the amplified flavor is worth the extra effort. We get it. The idea of a whole chicken in a can sounds really, really weird. But here's the thing. You only live once, and getting to say you actually tried a whole chicken in a can? That's some priceless dinner-time conversation right there. You can still buy whole canned chicken from a brand called Sweet Sue. And when we say whole chicken, we mean it. Sweet Sue's whole canned chicken includes the whole bird, minus the giblets, plus some extra broth in which to warm up the meat. That's over 3 pounds of chicken in a can. Should you eat it? We might not go that far, but we will say, shouldn't the true chicken connoisseur try it in all forms? Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more mashed videos about your favorite kitchen staples are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.